Hey friends, welcome back to another video. I'm here at the Canadian Nuclear Association Conference 2024. It's also known as the CNA, with President and CEO of the CNA, John Gorman. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, John. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for hosting me here at the CNA. It's been a phenomenal time talking to leaders in the industry, for hosting such a phenomenal conference, bringing together leadership from across the country. How has the energy been at this year's conference?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and really think it's wonderful what you're doing. We need to have more of these messages out here, and especially I'd say sort of broadcasting from what has been a pretty amazing conference, right? I mean, firstly, it sold out before December. There's a waiting list of hundreds of people. Which I only mention because it's an indication of just how much momentum and activity there is in the industry now. I mean, we've literally grown out of this venue, and as you know, we're going to have to move into a bigger venue next year. The energy, I think, has been absolutely incredible. I don't know what your view was, but we're just so pleased and really grateful for the incredible support and participation.
Yeah, likewise. I feel like the momentum, the trajectory of the industry can be felt here, and it's just a phenomenal way to network with colleagues, get together, and these reunions every year are really important to for business in the industry, for understanding the vision, right, for where the industry is headed. So, from your perspective, as the president and CEO of this CNA, what is your vision for the industry and for this organization as a whole?
Yeah, right. Well, I'm happy to comment on that. I just wanted, before we sort of leave the conference vibe, I just wanted to share with you something that I've experienced this time around, and then I think that sort of bleeds into the vision thing, and that is there's been a lot of emotion at this conference, which has been like a little bit interesting, and it from me as well, and I think it comes from a recognition that nuclear has reached the tipping point now. And I would say that the majority of the industry is feeling like we actually have the tools that we need now, whether it's primarily from the federal government. And of course, we have to customize those tools to help support different initiatives and projects and provinces and things like that. But it's an incredible thing to think about that, 4 years ago, we couldn't find a minister to say the word nuclear behind a microphone. And today we have all of this incredible recognition and support, all the tools that we need. So when it comes to your question about the vision and the priorities for the industry going forward, now's the time to get things done. And what is striking me is that people are feeling that, and that's where the emotion is coming from. And I think there's a lot of there's a lot of embedded feelings about the importance of us being able to tackle climate change in particular for future generations, and having that opportunity for young professionals and young people to be joining this workforce and bringing us over the finish line. It's urgent, right? And the fact that we are now actually fully engaged in that, I think is kind of an emotional thing. So my answer to you would be the vision is we've got the tools. There's no more excuses. Industry, this has to now become industry-led rather than government-led. So it's got to be industry-led, government-enabled, and we got to get things done. And timing is of the essence. And I would also say that courage to take bold decisions is now of the essence. So that's the mode that industry has to be in at this time, and I hope that we can play our part as an association to move that forward.
Yeah, it's a really inspiring message, especially for youth in the industry, right? It's a pivotal moment. And like you said, it's a turning point. This is the first time that I felt this in the industry, this emotion, right?
So do you actually feel that sense of emotion as well, or?
I do. I think that everyone is like ready to take that next step, right? And it's a big step, but we're all moving in the positive direction. Going back to Conference of Parties conference, that was a phenomenal moment where I got a chance to hear about your vision of from the international perspective of tripling global nuclear capacity. Saw that announcement.
Incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this and Canada's role?
Wow. Well, I guess it's really encouraging to understand that Canada is in a collection of nations now that also understands that nuclear has to be central to solving these multiple crises that we face. But I have to say, and I don't know if you felt the same way, but so arriving at COP in Dubai, the very first function I attended was that announcement with 22 different leaders on stage pledging to triple the global amount of nuclear by 2050. Prominent leaders at the table. Canada was there as well, of course, but it was unexpected. I had not anticipated that we would actually get that pledge. And further, I didn't think that nuclear was going to make it into the final global stock take that came out of COP. And I'm saying that as someone who has been working with international government agencies and our international associations, nuclear associations, who had been in dialogue in the ways that we're able to engage with these sort of multilateral conversations. And we did not have a high level of confidence that either of those two things would come out. So those were big developments, and they further add to this environment that we have now, where I think the global nuclear industry is having to recognize that we need to step up and get things done. So it's very promising. I feel some optimism.
That's phenomenal. I didn't know about that background story, and it's even better to know that that announcement, it yeah, it was unexpected even by the industry itself. Yeah, it blows my mind. So there you have it. I think um, this conversation is a really good way to capture this moment in history. I think this is historical. I love these chats because they're documentation of the experiences of industry professionals, right? And I think you're a part of that history, right? And paving the path forward for future generations. So to end off, like, what are your thoughts for your role in the industry and its impact for those future generations?
Well, maybe what I will say is two things. Firstly, I'm pretty pumped up about the engagement of youth at the conference, young professionals and youth students at the conference this year. Um, it's a bit larger than it ever has been. I think we had 100. I think we had 100 students basically who are just starting their careers come out, and we did that. I forget what the name of it was, but it was like a speed dating service of these young professionals with the various corporations that were interviewing them. And what was amazing about it is that you had a company representative sit down with four students, and they'd all be engaging in a conversation and pitching their abilities to be into the industry. And the people who were most charged up by that were the older representatives of the companies, right? They came out of there just like, oh my God, these are the most amazing people ever, which is not only energizing, but also hopeful. And then the last thing I'd share with you is in preparation for my own remarks here at the conference, I reached out to the leaders of our industry to ask their view of what was important and what we should focus on. And what came out from those discussions was the importance of building up the workforce by engaging youth and specifically aggressively marketing to get all of these young, talented, energetic people into our industry because we're going to need it. So I think the association is going to be looking seriously at how we can get involved in a more substantive way in a movement like that. And I think that's definitely one of the priorities going forward.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, I've noticed with some of the initiatives, like the new job board that
Oh
was
yeah,
posted.
thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, new job board. I don't know if you can put something in if we can put something in there, but that would be super helpful. It's a pretty slick tool too. I don't know if you saw it yet. But
Yeah, I wish I had that resource when I was younger and looking for jobs, and I fondly remember coming to the CNA every year when I was a student, actually applying for that program, and I remember walking away with internships every time I left.
is that right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
So I could definitely say that this organization, this annual conference, has helped me get the career opportunities that I've had. So uh, yeah, big thanks to you guys and all the work that you guys do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
There you have it. In the description below, you can find more details on the CNA, as well as have any contacts that John would like to connect you with. And there you have it. Thanks a lot, John, for this conversation.
Hopefully, we won't have to wait till next year to speak again. Thanks for the
Yeah,
opportunity.